They thought you were invisible, that your kindness made you weak, that the silence you kept meant you had nothing to offer. But today, a divine list, once hidden in the heavens, has been leaked. And your name isn't just on it. It's right there at the top. The world may not know it yet, but something has shifted, and the universe is preparing to make you the example everyone else will talk about. You are on position one, and what's about to happen will change your life forever. It began quietly. No grand sign, no loud trumpet, just a feeling, a persistent, almost eerie presence following Ava everywhere she went. It started the moment she woke up that morning, April 13th, 5:03 a.m. The air felt different, heavier, almost vibrating with unseen energy. She dismissed it at first as just another anxious morning. But deep inside, a voice kept whispering, "You're about to find out why you had to go through it all." Ava had always been the overlooked one, the one who clapped in the shadows for everyone else's victories, the one who gave, forgave, and waited and waited and waited. She was a quiet rock in her family, the backup friend in everyone's story, the afterthought in every group. People came to her for help, advice, money, time, and left her with silence. But even stones were down over time. She had been close to giving up. Just a week ago, Ava sat in her room, tears soaking her pillow, whispering to God with trembling voice, "Have you forgotten me too?" That's when it started. First, the dreams. Every night for 7 days, she saw the same vision, a glowing scroll floating in the sky, rolled open by hands made of light. A booming voice would echo the same phrase. "The list has been made. The names have been written. Yours is first." She would wake up shaking, her heart racing. Each morning, she'd search her room, half expecting to find the scroll lying there. But there was nothing, no sign, just a world that looked the same. Until today. Her phone buzzed with a notification from an unknown number. Check the list. Your name is first. Attached was a link. She hesitated, thumb hovering, her breath caught in her chest. This had to be some joke, a scam. She tapped it anyway. The screen opened to a simple web page. Black background, white text. At the top, it read, "The Chosen Ones," revealed April 13th. Position 1, Ava Miron. The rest of the names were blurred out. She stared at the screen, unsure if it was a prank or a dream she hadn't fully woken from. But then the world around her began shifting, subtly but unmistakably. Her phone started ringing nonstop. People she hadn't heard from in years began messaging her. Job offers she had applied to and been ghosted by months ago were now suddenly delighted to move forward with her. Influencers started following her. Even the toxic ex who had humiliated her in front of everyone years ago sent a DM, "I always knew you'd be something." The list was real, but it wasn't from this world. This was something divine, a sacred recognition from above. As the day unfolded, Ava began noticing things, strange things. People who once ignored her now looked at her with either awe or fear. One woman on the street even bowed her head slightly and whispered, "Congratulations, you deserve it." By noon, Ava sat in a cafe, still overwhelmed, trying to piece it all together. That's when the man in the corner caught her eye. He was old, dressed in white, with eyes that looked like they'd seen thousands of years. He walked up to her table without saying a word, placed a small envelope down, and vanished into the crowd. She opened it. Inside was a handwritten message. "You're being watched. The heavens chose you because you didn't let the cruelty of others poison your soul. You passed every test. And now the reward begins." Her hands trembled as she read it again. Watched? Chosen? Reward? She thought back to all the times she had been tested. When she chose to stay silent while others lied, when she gave without expecting, when she prayed even when she felt nothing. Every sacrifice, every tear, every lonely night was not forgotten. It was recorded. The divine list wasn't just about achievements. It was about character, about heart, about endurance. But with reward comes exposure, and with exposure comes danger. That night, Ava returned home to find a white box at her door. No name, no return address. Inside was a single sheet of paper. They know you're at the top. Now they're coming. Be ready. Suddenly, the air that felt electric now felt thick and dangerous. Her light had been noticed, and not just by those who celebrated it. The ones who had always tried to dim her, they were watching too. Ava stood at her window, looking at the quiet street, her reflection faintly staring back at her. She thought about all the years she had wondered if God had forgotten her, all the nights she had begged for a sign. Now the sign had come. The list had been leaked, and she was on position one, not because she chased the spotlight, not because she demanded validation, but because she kept going when no one clapped, because she loved when it was easier to hate, because she stayed loyal when betrayal would have been justified. But being chosen isn't the end. It's just the beginning, because now the world knows, and they're watching. What happens next will shake everything. When the list was leaked and Ava saw her name at the very top, she thought it would bring peace, maybe even joy. But the divine spotlight doesn't come alone. It invites shadows. Those who once mocked her are now lurking, watching, waiting. And now, she must walk the road that comes after recognition, the road that tests not just strength but spirit. Because when God elevates you, not everyone celebrates. Some prepare to attack. The morning after the envelope arrived, Ava didn't sleep. She sat on the edge of her bed, the warning playing over and over in her mind. They know you're at the top. Now they're coming. Be ready. For the first time, being chosen felt like a burden. Her phone, still buzzing from well-wishers and curious strangers, sat untouched. She wanted to feel happy, vindicated, but her spirit felt alert, not afraid, but aware. She decided to visit the one place that had always given her clarity, a quiet hilltop church where she used to volunteer, tucked away just outside the city. As she stepped inside, the candles flickered, though there was no breeze. She sat in the front pew, heart heavy, whispering prayers that trembled with uncertainty. That's when the old man in white appeared again, this time seated beside her, as if he'd been waiting. "You're wondering why the list was revealed now," he said calmly. She nodded. "Because the battle has begun," he said, "and your soul is the weapon they didn't see coming." He turned to face her. "You weren't chosen for being loud, or clever, or famous. You were chosen because when everyone else became bitter, you stayed kind. When others took shortcuts, you waited. When others betrayed, you remained loyal. You didn't even realize it, but your life became a lighthouse." Ava's throat tightened. "But why me? Why now?" The man smiled softly. "Because the world is drowning in darkness, and people don't follow titles anymore. They follow truth. You were tested by betrayal, abandonment, poverty, illness, and silence. And still you didn't turn cold. That's why heaven placed you at the top." She wanted to believe it, but the fear still lingered. "And the one's coming for me," she whispered. He stood up slowly, placing a gentle hand on her shoulder. Every time God prepares to lift someone up, darkness tries to drag them down. You're not just being elevated. You're being watched. And yes, they're coming, not with swords or screams, but with doubt, distractions, deception. Some will come as friends, others as lovers. But their aim will be the same, pull you down from the place heaven placed you. Her breath caught. "But how do I fight them?" "You don't. You stay. Stay kind. Stay disciplined. Stay rooted. That's your weapon. That's what made you number one." Before she could respond, he was gone again. No footsteps. No door creaking. Just gone. That night it began. It started subtly. An anonymous email leaked online. The list is a lie. Ava doesn't deserve to be on it. Ava's name started trending, not in praise, but with controversy. Fake stories, manipulated screenshots, and twisted rumors spread like wildfire. The very people who once ignored her now dissected her life under a digital microscope. Even people she had once helped began questioning her. Her inbox filled with hate. Her peace began to crumble. She sat in her room, alone, the words replaying in her mind. "They're coming." And now they had arrived. But instead of fighting back, Ava did something unexpected. She went silent. She didn't respond to the false stories. She didn't defend herself. She just stayed. She returned to her routines, helped the elderly neighbor, took care of her sister's kids, lit candles at the church, kept walking with the same grace as before. And soon, the noise began to collapse under its own weight. People who attacked her had no real evidence, just bitterness. The same ones who tried to cancel her started turning on each other. The lies started unraveling. Because when your foundation is truth, storms can rage, but they can't destroy. A few days later, Ava received another envelope. No return address again. Inside, a single sentence. Phase 2 begins now. That evening, her phone rang from a number she didn't recognize. A trembling voice spoke on the other end. Miss Ava, this is the director of Global Care Foundation. We'd like to invite you to speak at our international summit. You inspired more lives in silence than others have in speeches. The next week was a blur. Flights, cameras, media, applause. The woman who once cried alone in her room now stood in front of thousands, her story echoing across countries. She didn't preach. She didn't boast. She just spoke truth. How it hurts to be overlooked. How it breaks you to keep loving when no one returns it. How it feels to walk through life with your name forgotten. And then how it feels when heaven remembers. After her speech, a young girl approached her backstage with tears in her eyes. My name was on the list too, but I'm at position 437. I was starting to lose hope until I saw you. Ava hugged her tightly. Don't lose it. You're not waiting for your time. You're being prepared for it. It's strange how fast life changes when heaven moves. One moment you're invisible, and the next, you're the headline. Not because the world sees you, but because God does. Ava was never chasing position. She was chasing peace. And that's exactly why she was elevated. The world tried to break her. Silence tried to bury her. Darkness tried to dim her. But she remained. She became living proof of one sacred truth. You don't need to scream to be seen. You don't need revenge to rise. When the list was made, your name was written in gold, long before anyone else saw it. So if you're reading this, and you've been wondering if anyone sees you, if you've been doubting your worth, if your name is buried behind louder voices and faster runners, just know the list has been leaked. And your name, it's closer to the top than you think. Because the ones who wait in silence are the ones heaven chooses to shout about